Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten why you went there? Have you found yourself searching for a word that used to come easily? Or maybe you've been feeling mentally slower, less focused, and more forgetful than you used to be. Many adults over 50 experience these moments and often assume they're simply part of getting older. But what if something else is happening? What if your brain isn't slowing down because of age alone? What if your body is trying to tell you that it's missing something essential? One surprisingly common cause of brain fog after 50 is a deficiency in a nutrient called vitamin B12. And the challenging part is that many people don't realize they have it. Today, we're going to explore why vitamin B12 deficiency can feel like brain fog, why it becomes more common as we age, and what signs you should never ignore. Let's begin. The strange experience of brain fog. Brain fog isn't a medical diagnosis. It's a term people use to describe a collection of symptoms. You may feel mentally sluggish. Your concentration may seem weaker. You might struggle to remember names, appointments, or conversations. Simple tasks can require more effort than they used to. Some people describe it as feeling like a cloud has settled over their thinking. Others say it's like trying to drive through thick fog. You can still move forward, but everything feels slower and less clear. The problem is that brain fog has many possible causes: poor sleep, stress, medication side effects, blood sugar fluctuations, dehydration, and nutritional deficiencies. One of the most overlooked nutritional causes is low vitamin B12. What exactly is vitamin B12? Vitamin B12 is an essential nutrient that helps your body perform several critical functions. It's involved in producing red blood cells. It supports DNA production. And perhaps most importantly for today's discussion, it helps maintain the health of your nervous system. Your brain and nerves depend on B12 to function properly. Without enough of it, communication between nerve cells may become less efficient. Over time, this can affect memory, focus, mental clarity, mood, and energy. Think of vitamin B12 as one of the maintenance workers that helps keep your brain's communication network running smoothly. When there isn't enough of it, small problems can begin appearing throughout the system. And those problems often show up as symptoms people mistakenly attribute to aging. Why deficiency becomes more common after 50? Many people are surprised to learn that B12 deficiency becomes increasingly common with age. This isn't necessarily because older adults eat less B12. The bigger issue is absorption. Vitamin B12 absorption is a complicated process. Your stomach needs to produce enough acid. Certain proteins must bind to the vitamin. Your digestive system must then absorb it properly. As we age, stomach acid production often decreases. This means your body may have a harder time extracting B12 from food. Certain medications can make the situation worse. Acid-reducing medications are one example. Some diabetes medications have also been associated with lower B12 levels over time. Digestive conditions can create additional challenges. As a result, someone may eat foods containing B12 and still develop a deficiency. That's one reason this problem frequently goes unnoticed. How low B12 affects the brain. Let's talk about what happens inside the body. Vitamin B12 plays a key role in maintaining the protective covering around nerves called myelin. You can think of myelin as insulation around electrical wiring. Healthy insulation helps messages travel efficiently. When B12 levels become too low, nerve function can suffer. Signals may not move as effectively as they should. The result can be subtle at first. You may notice occasional forgetfulness, difficulty concentrating, mental fatigue, trouble finding words, a feeling that your thinking isn't as sharp as it once was. Many people describe this as brain fog. What's important to understand is that these symptoms can develop gradually. Because they appear slowly, people often adapt to them without realizing how much has changed. The warning signs many adults ignore. Brain fog is only one possible symptom. Vitamin B12 deficiency can affect the body in many different ways. Some common signs include persistent fatigue, low energy levels, weakness, difficulty concentrating, memory problems, mood changes, irritability, tingling sensations in the hands or feet, balance problems, dizziness, shortness of breath, pale skin. Not everyone experiences all of these symptoms. Some people primarily notice mental changes. Others experience physical symptoms first. That's why B12 deficiency can sometimes be difficult to recognize. The symptoms often mimic other common conditions. And because aging itself can bring changes in energy and memory, the warning signs may be dismissed for years. When forgetfulness isn't just aging, let's address an important concern. Everyone forgets things occasionally. Misplacing your keys once in a while is normal. Forgetting a name temporarily happens to people of all ages. The concern arises when cognitive changes become frequent or noticeably worse. Maybe you're forgetting information more often. Maybe conversations are harder to follow. Maybe you're struggling to focus on tasks that used to feel simple. These changes don't automatically mean there's a serious neurological problem, but they do deserve attention. One of the most important messages we can share is this: never assume every memory problem after 50 is simply normal aging. Sometimes there's an underlying cause, and some underlying causes can be addressed. Vitamin B12 deficiency is one of them. The connection between B12 and energy. Many people think of B12 as an energy vitamin. There's a reason for that. Vitamin B12 helps your body produce healthy red blood cells. Red blood cells carry oxygen throughout your body. When B12 levels become too low, oxygen delivery can be affected. This can contribute to feelings of fatigue and exhaustion. And fatigue itself can worsen brain fog. Think about how difficult it is to concentrate when you're exhausted. Your memory isn't as sharp. Your attention wanders. Your mental processing slows down. Sometimes the brain fog associated with low B12 is partly related to this energy deficit. Your brain simply isn't operating under ideal conditions. Why women and men over 50 should pay attention. Both men and women can develop B12 deficiency. However, risk increases with age for everyone. Certain groups may face an even higher risk. People with digestive disorders, individuals who have had gastrointestinal surgery, those who take acid-reducing medications regularly, people taking certain diabetes medications. Vegetarians and vegans may also be at greater risk because B12 is naturally found primarily in animal-based foods. Even among people who eat meat regularly, absorption problems can still occur. That's why awareness is so important. You cannot determine your B12 status based solely on your diet. Foods that naturally contain vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is found primarily in animal products. Common sources include fish, salmon, tuna, sardines, beef, chicken, turkey, eggs, milk, cheese, yogurt. Some breakfast cereals and plant-based products are fortified with B12 as well. However, eating these foods doesn't guarantee adequate levels if absorption problems are present. That's one reason testing may sometimes be necessary. The emotional side of brain fog. Brain fog affects more than memory. It can affect confidence. Many adults become worried when they notice changes in their thinking. They may begin questioning themselves, wondering whether something serious is wrong, feeling embarrassed about forgetfulness, avoiding social situations, losing confidence in their abilities. This emotional burden can create additional stress, and stress can make cognitive symptoms feel even worse. The cycle becomes frustrating. You notice memory problems. You worry about memory problems. The worry increases mental strain. The symptoms feel more noticeable. That's why identifying possible underlying causes can be so valuable. Sometimes understanding what's happening reduces fear and uncertainty. Could your morning fatigue be related? Many adults over 50 wake up tired despite getting enough sleep. There are many possible explanations. Sleep disorders, stress, blood sugar issues, medication effects. But low B12 may also contribute. If your body isn't producing healthy red blood cells efficiently, Fatigue can persist even when your sleep seems adequate. When fatigue combines with brain fog, daily activities can feel much harder. Simple decisions require more effort. Concentration becomes challenging. Mental clarity feels out of reach. These are important clues worth discussing with a healthcare professional. Why testing matters. The symptoms of B12 deficiency overlap with many other conditions. That's why guessing is not enough. A proper evaluation may include blood testing and a review of symptoms. Healthcare professionals can determine whether B12 levels are contributing to your symptoms. The key point is not to self-diagnose. Brain fog has many possible causes. However, B12 deficiency is one cause that should not be overlooked, especially after age 50. What happens if deficiency is ignored? This is where awareness becomes particularly important. In some cases, neurological symptoms associated with prolonged B12 deficiency may become more difficult to reverse if left untreated for too long. That's why early recognition matters. The sooner a deficiency is identified, the sooner appropriate treatment can begin. Many people assume that mild symptoms are harmless, but persistent symptoms deserve investigation. Your body often provides warning signs before larger problems develop. Listening to those signals can make a significant difference. Supporting healthy brain function after 50. While B12 is important, brain health is influenced by many factors. Regular physical activity supports blood flow to the brain. Quality sleep helps memory and cognitive performance. Managing blood sugar supports stable energy levels. Staying socially engaged challenges the brain. Eating a nutrient-rich diet provides essential building blocks for healthy function. Hydration also matters. Even mild dehydration can worsen concentration and mental clarity. Think of brain health as a collection of daily habits rather than a single solution. B12 is one piece of a much larger puzzle, a story many people recognize. Imagine someone in their late 50s. They begin forgetting small things. They feel unusually tired. Reading becomes harder because concentration drifts. Names disappear from memory more often. They assume aging is the cause. Months pass. The symptoms continue. Eventually, they discuss the changes with a healthcare professional. Testing reveals low vitamin B12. This scenario happens more often than many people realize. The lesson isn't that every memory problem is caused by B12 deficiency. The lesson is that symptoms deserve investigation rather than assumptions. The most important takeaway. If you've been feeling mentally foggy lately, don't immediately conclude that it's simply part of getting older. Brain fog is a signal. It's your body's way of telling you that something may need attention. Sometimes the cause is stress. Sometimes it's poor sleep. Sometimes it's medication. And sometimes it's a nutritional issue such as vitamin B12 deficiency. The encouraging news is that identifying the cause is the first step toward improvement. Knowledge allows you to take action, and action often begins with asking the right questions. Vitamin B12 deficiency is more common after age 50 than many people realize. Because its symptoms can resemble normal aging, it often goes unnoticed. Yet the effects on memory, focus, mental clarity, and energy can be significant. If you've been experiencing persistent brain fog, unusual fatigue, forgetfulness, or difficulty concentrating, don't ignore those changes. They may be worth discussing with a healthcare professional. Your brain deserves attention, and not every cognitive change should be accepted as an unavoidable part of aging. Sometimes the answer is simpler than people expect. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing to Vitality Path 50 Plus for more evidence-based insights on brain health, memory, healthy aging, and staying mentally sharp after 50. And remember, growing older is inevitable. Losing curiosity about your health is not.
Before we conclude, a quick reminder. The information shared in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this channel. Your health is your most valuable asset. Treat it with the professional care it deserves.